Hey Breakthrough, my name is Matt Caldwell. I'm applying to be a teacher at Cincinnati this year. These are some of my physics friends. This is Max, Kat, and Tyler. I'll be teaching them how to find key information on a word problem. So we'll go ahead and get started. Word problems, what are they? Word problems are just math problems in words. So they can dress it up any way they like, but to put it quite simply, they're not trick questions. They're not trying to make you get the wrong answer. They're just translating numeric equations. So they can go from words to numbers and back to words, however way you want to do it. Okay? So how to solve word problems. First of all, stay calm. For those of you that may have test anxiety or just feel overwhelmed by word problems, take a deep breath if you need to. Then you can read the whole problem carefully. This will ensure that you don't make any silly mistakes and you find all the important parts of the problem. After that, figure out what the problem is asking for. What answer do you need to give? Then find all of the relevant information given and then solve the problem. You have the tools to make this happen, and I've got a little trick for you to help you remember it. The IC method. Identify, set up, execute, and evaluate. So what was that again?
Identify, set up, execute, evaluate.
Thank you, Tyler. All right, so identify. You identify the relevant concepts, variables, and known quantities. All of these are found in a word problem. So for example, what are some types of problems?
Projectile motion problem.
Projectile motion problem, perfect.
Vector problems.
Vectors.
Baseball problem.
Baseball problem. All right, Tyler. So after that, you want to identify what's in there. So for a baseball problem, for example, if it's projectile motion, so if somebody hits a baseball and it goes 100 meters and it's hit with a certain force, what sort of identification can you do there?
Well, it's a kinematic problem.
Okay, there you go.
Use your kinematic equations.
Use your kinematic equations, perfect.
You identify that Newton's second law applies.
Perfect. And what else? Anything else? You can identify how far it's hit, right?
Yeah.
All right, great. So that takes us into setup. So you set up the problem. Like we already said, if we use the baseball problem and projectile motion, we figure out what equations we'll need, which was
Kinematic equation.
kinematic equations. So after that, you can draw a sketch if possible. That can take translated written information and turn it into visual information, hopefully make it easier for you to understand. After that, find an approach. What was our approach again?
Kinematic equations.
Kinematic equations, awesome. So execute. This is where you do the math. You take all of the numbers that you're given and find an answer. So what would you do for a kinematic equation if you're given distance and how much force it's hit with?
You find an equation that relates distance and force.
Yep. All right, so after that, evaluate your answer. If you hit a baseball 100 meters, is that feasible?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're good there. What about 3 miles?
No.
Can't do 3 miles. Perfect. So I think we're ready to try an example. Example. So Justin's walking down the street on a Friday afternoon when he sees a soccer ball up ahead of him. He kicks the ball at 10 newtons of force as he walks past it. The ball then accelerates 22 meters per second squared as Justin watches it. How much mass does the soccer ball have? So what do we do?
First, we have to identify.
Identify. And what technique is that part of?
First step.
The IC method, right? Okay, so we identify. What sort of problem is this?
This is the force problem.
Force problem, and that's Newton's what law?
Second.
Second law. Perfect. Okay, so what sorts of information can you take out of that?
The acceleration is 22 meters per second squared.
All right, you want to come write that on the board?
Absolutely.
All right. What else can we take out of that?
Force.
The force. How much is the force?
10 newtons.
10 newtons. Tyler, will you write that up there?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so what do we do after this? We set up the problem, we found some relevant information. What do we do next?
Execute.
We execute. So we plug it into our equation.
Do you want me to sit down or want me to do that?
Go ahead for it. So we're going to solve for mass.
Do that too.
Yeah, go. So after after we solve for the mass, we'll get an answer. That answer is going to be about 450 grams. So is that feasible? Is that how much a soccer ball weighs?
Roughly.
Roughly?